I'm always excited to tell people about the project that I ended and now we have been working on. So let's get started. Pathway OZ, we are an Opportunity Zone Venture Fund for historically Black colleges and universities, better known as HBCUs. This is our table of contents. So when I provide Madeline with the copy of our PowerPoint, you could just swip through to the appropriate slide. This is our executive summary. We are strategically partnering with HBCUs, entrepreneurs, government officials to invest in early stage companies at the seed and pre-seed level. We want to be that strong investment vehicle to stimulate that economic activity in and around HBCUs in order to create jobs, and build that strong ecosystem that HBCUs need. And our thesis is centered around identifying businesses that have that strong double bottom line impact and is in position with HBCUs in order to scale. And this is who we are. Of course, I didn't know my partner's gonna be here today, but I would love to introduce my partner on his behalf. Allende Simon. Allende Simon is a blockchain and crypto asset investor and advisor. He has supported startups for over 10 years, and his specialty is product development, product and business development. I myself, I come from a background in ed tech. I have worked with different city and nonprofits to really stimulate that economic development. I like to call myself an economic development entrepreneur. I'm an award-winning educator. I've been a city policy advisor for Pico Rivera located in California, and I'm a Teach for America alum in the Mississippi Delta. I have a lot of stories about the South, so if you ever want to talk to me about it, please go ahead. And we are building a strong acquisition committee and subject matter team. We are constantly interacting and networking with other people to really build the adventures, to support HBCU communities and the startups that we are investing in. And our investment thesis is really grounded on leveraging HBCU's intellectual capital and their established infrastructure in order to build a thriving business ecosystem that HBCUs need support with. We believe that channeling private capital into untapped talent would generate long-term jobs, not jobs that's usually temporary, but we want to generate that long-term wealth and in the communities that is often overlooked. There you go. And for the most part, we are familiar with opportunity zones. The legislation, bipartisan effort, it has generated over $50 billion of new private capital investments, and they're all over this country. And specifically the areas that we are located, that we're focusing in the Southeast region, Northeast region. Sorry about it, it's glitching like this. Okay, great. And these are the three main tax benefits. I'm just going to swiftly go over this. We know the major tax benefits when investing in the Opportunity Zone Fund is the deferral period that ends when the taxpayers sell their interest in the qualified opportunity zone or on December 31st, 2026. You have the 10% tax basis when the investment is held for 5 years prior to the December 31st, 2026. And then also when the taxpayer hold their investment for a minimum of 10 years in a qualified opportunity zone, they are eligible for the no capital gain tax on their appreciation of their investments. For the most part, a lot of opportunity zones funds have focused on real estate. However, our fund is a venture fund, and we're focusing on qualified opportunity zone businesses. And one of the main criteria to be eligible as a qualified opportunity zone business is the asset test. A lot of us are familiar with this already. I would like to just continue to go with the presentation. But please, if you have any questions, always shoot me a question. There we go. And this is our fund structure. Just really briefly, being able to, we are channeling, ensuring that the qualified fund invests in the qualified opportunity zone business, and that would serve as a C Corp, and then that qualified opportunity zone businesses will invest in startups. Really sorry about how it's glitching like this. The problems. HBCUs struggle with untapping their intellectual talent. HBCUs already have the established infrastructure, such as the research and development centers, innovation centers, such as at Shaw University. You have other innovation centers at Morgan State, Morehouse, and the students and professors and other entrepreneurs in the community, they have limited exposure to emerging technology communities. And HBCUs also need support with providing more opportunities to retain the intellectual talent in the local areas. Often we see the intellectual talent at HBCUs, they commute from outside of the city. And that impacts the city's bottom line and tax revenue and building that strong ecosystem. So these are huge problems that HBCUs are facing, coupled with the limited capacity that they have to execute long-term economic development strategies. So these are some huge problems that's affecting HBCUs when it comes to untapping their intellectual talent. So let's take a step back and let's really look at the 55 HBCUs located in opportunity zones. Total, that's more than half of the HBCUs in America, with over 106 of them. Collectively, the 55 HBCUs generate over 70,000 jobs with and also $8.5 billion of economic impact. That's about, on average, 1,300 jobs per school and around $150 million economic impact. But yet, we can still do so much more. In comparison to our PWI schools, predominantly white institutions, they still a lot more missed opportunity that HBCUs can do. So then when you take a deeper dive of where the HBCUs are located, they are located in cities that are impacted by high unemployment rates. 16 HBCUs are located in cities that have a higher unemployment rate than the current national percentage at 5.8%. And if you look closely, I know some of you guys are looking very closely. You guys have the copy, so you guys can zoom in. But if you look closely at Alcona State, located in Mississippi, you have Clifton University, Florida Memorial University. They are located in cities that has a higher than 10% unemployment rates. So HBCUs can really serve as the anchor to drive economic activity and jobs in the cities that they serve. And this also take a deeper dive into like the cities where HBCUs are located in. Majority of them are located in the Southeast region, traditionally where African Americans were first brought to America, and the majority of also the cities have over a city population of 150,000 people. So that's a huge potential of what HBCUs can do in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. And we are referring to Memphis, Baltimore, Raleigh, Huntsville, Alabama. You have one HBCU in Miami. So these HBCUs are geographically positioned to have that double bottom line impact that we are trying to accomplish. So this is our solution. We're creating economic synergy. We discuss all the value that HBCUs already have. They have the intellectual capital, professors, students, strong alumni. Every last one of us can probably think of an actor or maybe an actress, one of our favorite athletes that come from HBCUs in these communities. They have this very strong alumni network. And also HBCUs have robust infrastructure already. Some of them have been around for over 100 years. From the FinTech Center at Morgan State to the food incubator at Delaware State. You have the innovation center at Shaw University. And they have already have strong industry-ready programs such as cybersecurity, biotech, semiconductors, manufacturing. These are the elements that HBCUs have. Now, Pathway OZ, we want to bring that extra value coupled with the HBCUs by investing and relocating businesses around the communities, partnering with incubators and accelerators, providing that strong product development, compliance, subject matter experts into the mix. So combining HBCUs value coupled with the value that we are bringing combined together, that would create economic synergy for job creation, emerging leaders, innovation, different tech hubs, ensuring that they were living in the community so they can shop at the local grocery store. They can get gas at the local communities. This is all helping out the city and stimulating the economy. And to just, once again, recap the value that Pathway OZ is creating for HBCUs. Be building that business ecosystem, very similar to what Google has done in the Bay Area and what Apple is doing in Raleigh, HBCUs can do the same thing with support from private capital investments. Strengthening their talent pool. We know that in order for talent to develop, they need resources, they need opportunities, they need folks to really invest in them to really develop their skills. And HBCUs will serve as the flywheel for companies. So our investment will be able to leverage HBCUs networks to do their to find early users, early customers. We know startups, they need to roll out their MVP fast and very efficient. HBCUs will serve as that network to collaborate and to do a lot of product iterations. And also that social impact. We are seeing now in this era that startups and entrepreneurs are very social conscious driven. They want to give back. They want to hire people in the community. And these startups that we are focusing on, they need support. So opportunities on investment bring the alternative capital. Though we are agnostic with our investment focus, we are very specific when we engage with HBCUs. Each of the 55 HBCUs already have programs and centers that specialize in one of the 8 industries that we're focusing on. So instead of recreating the wheel, we want to work with the HBCUs. Morgan State has a FinTech Center where Ripple sponsor the FinTech Center to do blockchain pitch events. So finding a company in blockchain relocated to Morgan State is ideal. We have North Carolina A&T, Alabama A&M that focus on agriculture and biotech. So that right there will be prime to relocate businesses there to improve that research and development. So we are very intentional on where we want to relocate the companies based on the industry to generate that jobs that we want to see out of their communities. And this is our fund structure. We are raising a total of $10 million, and our average investment will be between 300 and 500K. Our commitment period, and I will explain more about this, is 5 to 10 years, leveraging the Qualified Small Business Act, leveraging this Qualified Small Business Stock and the Opportunity Zone legislation. And you will see our management fee and carry interest. And on the right, very similar to like the diagram that I showed earlier in the presentation, but you can see on the right as well our structure and on how we are channeling and investing the capital. And this is our investment process. We do a lot of due diligence in the beginning, in the beginning phases. We engage with HBCU's leadership to understand their vision, what are the existing infrastructure they have, and to align our interests. And then we vet the company. And we leverage our advisors and our team and in order to find that match. And then step 3, that's when we go through the restructuring and compliance to make sure they are a qualified opportunities on business. Then we relocate, advise, and best believe now we're working diligently to scale the business. And these are our three goals. It is grounded in our vision. We want to stimulate economic activity. So we want to ensure that at least 50% of the employees that 50% of the employees of the business that we invest in live in the local area. We want to do at least 20 investments and generate over 300 new jobs. And this is our strategy to source quality deals. We have a 3 access point, leveraging HBCUs, strong alumni networks, the regional and business communities, and our partnerships with incubators and accelerators. And once we find the deal, this is when we start to restructure the business if it's required. We issue qualified small business stock to our limited partners. This is very common in the venture capitalist world in order to reward our limited partners for taking this risk. And as you see, there are 4 main requirements for the qualified small business stock. We want to ensure that if we need to restructure the company from an LLC, it has to be a C corporation and must be held for over for 5 years to receive the full tax benefits. The gross asset of the corporation, when it being issued, has to be equal or less than $50 million. That's not really big of an issue because we're focusing on pre-seed and seed value. And after the issuance of the stock, 80% of the asset of the corporation must be used in the active conduct of a qualified trade or business. The top benefits for issuing a qualified small business stock for our LLPs is the exclusion of a federal tax up to $10 million or 10x of their investment basis, whichever one is greater. We will provide a scenario of what that looks like so you have a better understanding and practice. And then also, which is really creative, the ability to roll over the proceeds into another small business to defer paying tax until the sale of that new investment. So this could be very interesting for our limited partners. They will be, if they want to, they can liquidate their investment in the startup and then be able to roll over their investment and a new startup that they are interested in. So that flexibility provides a lot of different optionality for our limited partners. And this is just an example of what liquidation will look like for when utilizing the qualified small business stock. So let's say my good buddy Ryan. I like Ryan. Ryan is he is an investor. He contributed 5% of the total capital to the fund, and is entitled to 5% of the recognized gain. The fund was very successful. It was able to increase the value of 300 million with the initial investment of 15 million. Now it's time for Ryan to exercise the qualified small business stock. So because Ryan contributed to 5% of the total fund, his total gain is $11.4 billion. Ryan is eligible to exclude $10 million of his gain, or if you want to do the 10x value of his initial of the investment, which is $7.5 million. So he can either take the $10 million of the exclusion or the 7.5. Simple math, he's going to take the $10 million of exclusion. So that means the remaining the remaining investment that he'll be subject to tax will be $1.4 million. So why us? Why are we the team for the job? We have established a very strong partnership strategy. We are very intentional on working with incubators and accelerators, not only in the United States, but also internationally. We have firm partnerships with incubators in Haiti, who is focusing on clean energy. We have a strong relationship to the blockchain-based accelerators in Washington, D.C. We have a strong relationship to tech development in Liberia. We want to have that strong relationship with incubators and accelerators to potentially move these companies to HBCUs when they are ready and ready to scale. We are building a strong compliance team to support our qualified small business, our qualified opportunity zone businesses. We have a long history of product and development experience from Allende, blockchain, and crypto advisor support, and his startup experience from my ed tech background. We are equipped to support the companies, and nothing beats passion and purpose. That will always be the X factor of why we are doing this. We are doing this for the right reason. We are working in the community to stimulate that long-term wealth that our community, that HBCUs are missing. And why now? We are seizing the moment. Never a long time before have we seen such a historic legislation that HBCUs can leverage with such degree to support entrepreneurs, innovation, and their community. This is a bipartisan support. Our Vice President, Kamala Harris, is a HBCU alum. And President Joe Biden is calling on an additional $60 million to support HBCUs infrastructure and their campus, and bringing that social awareness. And just like I said, like there's heightened attention. We're seeing athletes now Division I athletes now entering to HBCUs. Deion Sanders and now a coach at Jackson State. This is a moment to really seize and to support the intellectual talent that has been often overlooked. And I would like to thank you guys for listening and learning more about Pathway OZ. If you have any questions or interested in learning more, you can always email us at info@pathwayoz.com. You can visit our website to learn more. And so thank you.